I see you playing Magic, Migs. Can't escape.
Really? I don't know. Man.
I don't know. Discord might be lying. I don't know.
Hey, TMG Podcast, episode 205. This is Carlos, and with me is Matthew.
Hello.
And now, officially, after 5 episodes in, our official countdown master, Migs.
Numbers, yeah.
And Miggy.
Lord Viscount
Hello.
Countdown.
And this is a podcast about everything video games. And, well, if everybody's been paying attention for a couple of 3 days, I think you guys have an idea on what we're going to be focusing on today. And that is the PlayStation vibe.
Whoa.
And all that was announced.
Revealed.
And the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
The new block in town. And yeah, they had a lot of games. It was just pretty much a very straightforward presentation. As much as I can was that. It's just games, trailers out left and right, with some occasional like developers in their homes. So that was interesting. But you guys were all, I think we were all watching it except Matt. I think Matt woke up when it was done.
Yeah, I was doing this thing called sleeping. You heard of that one? Yeah.
Yeah. That one's, yeah.
To be fair, I woke up about an hour after the stream started, so I basically just waited for it to like become like, you know, a YouTube video rather than a stream.
I'm sorry to like should I just keep doing this or just like wake up and just like, oh, everything's there. Okay.
It depends on how late they start, right?
That's true. 4 a.m. was the one for this one.
Yeah.
It wasn't so bad. I usually wake up at 5 in the morning with a regular when it wasn't, you know, pandemic ish.
Mm-hmm.
I used to wake up around 5, so an hour early wasn't so bad. But yeah, you guys want to do a quick rundown of what they announced?
I would like to start with the games first, and then we'll go into the hardware very quickly.
Oh, the color will be like towards the end. Like
yeah.
The look and feel of it or whatever. But
so
yeah, if you guys have not much to say about the ones we're going to be talking about, we can just move on really quickly. And of course, like we are actually here we're live on Facebook, our Facebook page. So whoever is like, you know, wants to pour their thoughts about what was announced, and of course the PS5, go ahead, knock your socks off.
Yeah. How do you like about the color and the design?
Yeah, you guys got any comments or questions or whatever thoughts about the game lineup and the hardware? You know, drop a line in the freaking comments, and I will try to be our guide for this half of the podcast. And go through everything about the PS5. I'll try to keep it brisk so that we don't eat up your entire day.
Let's go, Willy Wonka.
Yeah, so
then take it away, Arcelia.
First one is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Moving on.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointment because you see the Rockstar logo and you're thinking, this is it. Grand Theft Auto 6, Red Dead Redemption 3, Bully 2, Manhunt 2, or something is going to come up. But nope, it's Grand Theft Auto 5.
I really thought it was a montage, like a starting montage of the PS4, like you know how they usually do.
Yeah.
And then
they went full
it was something for GTA 5.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because like this is going to be the 3rd generation in a row that we'll be able to play Grand Theft Auto 5 because it announced.
Yeah, it's technically it is a
PS3 game,
PS3 right? Xbox 360 game.
Yeah,
so.
and PS4, and Xbox One and PC, and now PS5 and I guess Xbox One. You know, like
at this rate, PS6 is a possibility for GTA 5
or Nintendo or Nintendo
That's
Switch.
A given already.
You know, just put it on Nintendo Switch.
That would be amazing on Switch.
Sure, or Nintendo Switch Pro. They might have a Nintendo Switch Pro by then. We never know, you know.
Yeah. And
but yeah, I don't know what else to say to that. It's just like cool, like GTA Online. I mean, cool. Like
I guess Rockstar is gunning for Skyrim, basically.
Well, they're earning money.
Okay,
you can't
that.
blame
Yeah.
the coats. I mean the upper management. But yeah.
The next one we have on the list is Spider-Man: Miles Morales, which is a standalone expansion story thing. Basically, it's like the Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry of Spider-Man video games. It is a shorter, $40 follow-up to 2018 Spider-Man that focuses on the young, hip, black version of, or young black alter ego to Spider-Man. It's going to come out this holiday season, and it's going to basically have enhancements and visual upgrades to the core technology that powers Spider-Man. I'm not sure if you recall, I think you were the one telling me about this, Carlos, which is that the Spider-Man video game itself was being used as the engine to test the PlayStation 5 and its ability to stream assets quickly.
Yeah, but it was actually pretty, with that announcement, we have to just also point out that even us, or maybe a lot of people actually, maybe even the major media, thought that this was going to be a sequel.
Yeah, like a direct sequel, like a big $60
they
100-hour
didn't
game.
put that. they didn't point that out too clearly. Apparently. But I think it's still up in the air because one, they said it's an expansion. It's not and then I think the developer said no, it is a completely new game, and then now they retracted it again. Like I don't like, it's just back and forth.
Both Sony and Insomniac were, finally settled on an explanation, which is that they directly compared it to Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Oh yeah, that happened, huh?
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's no less a game, but it's not meant to be like, a heavy experience like a full Spider-Man game would be.
That just makes me want a Miles Morales game more than
me too. I don't care much for the character when he was first written in the Bendis comics, but ever since then, other writers and other universes have depicted the character, and he's pretty fucking dope.
Lightning powers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Gran Turismo 7 is our next title. Gran Turismo always exists because that is what you use to show off, how pretty the next PlayStation is. So,
Of course.
it's a dad game, so basically racing, fancy cars.
I stopped caring about Gran Turismo for like on the 5th one, I think, because I started to realize why am I doing this?
Wait until you're
who am I?
Wait until you're 45. Huh? You'll be interested again.
Probably not. I might be playing Final Fantasy 14. You never know. But
yeah.
But yeah. There's not much to say that's like groundbreaking for the 7th entry in that series, but it's just pretty.
What else can you say?
Yeah, I mean, like it's not breaking the boundaries of whatever. Like unless they, we'll see more. But yeah, it's just it's pretty. That's about it.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is our next game.
That one.
Yeah, that one looks exciting. You had something to say, Carlos?
I think that shows the SSD.
Yeah, that one is definitely a tech showcase. It's not necessarily in terms of visual splendor, though it does look very pretty, but in terms of how fast can Ratchet jump from world to world, and how quickly can the PlayStation 5 just push those new worlds up onto the screen. And that's what Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart does.
Yeah, because I see a lot of assets like popping in and out really quickly, and I was like, that's actually pretty impressive just seeing it. There's no FPS drops or anything, but aside from that,
a clear demonstration basically of the PlayStation 5's implied agility and speed over pure power.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And but then again, with the Ratchet and Clank, like just the series. Yeah, I am not that updated with that franchise. I haven't played much about it.
It is nice to see it return,
Yeah.
after having a long absence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a launch title. I think it's a launch title. That's gotta be a launch title.
That's gotta be a launch title.
I hope. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, because GTA 7 doesn't sound like a launch title. It sounds like a end of generations. But
yeah, the next one is Project Athia. That is a Square Enix production. With Luminous, basically some of the people who are behind Final Fantasy 15. And there's not really much we know about it, except the fact that it looks a lot like that Lumen in the... What is that name of that Unreal demo?
Yeah, it looks like that Unreal Engine 5 demo that we saw a few weeks ago.
It looked a lot more colorful, though. Like, the Unreal demo was very brown. This one had, like, lush Square Enix environments.
this one's pretty big. And I bet it's not even called Project Athia. Obviously, it won't be called Project Athia.
Yeah, like, we didn't really see much of anything on it, really.
Looks cool.
Like, you saw a big environment and a sort of pretty-looking person. But we don't know much about it outside of that.
There's also Stray from Annapurna Interactive,
The best game.
Cat game.
Best
Yeah,
game
the
of
cat
the
game.
presentation.
My girlfriend literally messaged me this morning like, this is what I approve that you buy the PS5 for. I'm like, what? Oh, ooh. Okay. Guess I'm buying the PS5 now without any pushback.
Yeah, so this is a game that was originally known on Kickstarter as HK_project. Excuse me, my partner sneezed.
Bless you,
Yeah, so it was formerly known as HK Project under Kickstarter, and it is basically about a cat exploring a world where humans don't exist and only robots have taken their place. We didn't really see much in terms of why the cat is doing what it does, exploring the world.
Right.
But it looks really pretty, and it's got a neato backpack. Who knows what's in that backpack? Is it a jetpack? Is it a rocket
It
launcher?
could be the last human in the world. Just shrink. You never
Oh my
know.
god! Fuck
Anything's-
it.
It's Norman
Oh my God,
Reedus in a
Oh
cat
my
form.
god! No! It's Norman Reedus. It's a baby Norman Reedus inside the backpack. That's what is in there. It's all
Yep.
connected, Miguel.
The chiral network.
And if you check the director's name, it's actually a puzzle or like it just if you correct it right, it's actually Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
It's by
Hideo
Joachim
Kojima,
Mogren.
Yeah. Taking the notes out of the MGS5. Yeah.
So the other game we got was Returnal. This is from Housemarque, the guys behind Resogun. It was more of a mood trailer. I thought it would look really cool, actually, Returnal, because it focuses on an astronaut who lands on an alien planet, and every time she dies, she just relives her events over and over again. And it looked really super, like, psychedelic, crazy, wild. I don't know. It looks promising. I just want to see more of the game. But yeah, that looks really interesting.
No, this is pretty cool because I think it's the first time this studio is actually doing something that's story based and actually much more not arcade.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
more.
and we were speculating on stream that it might be semi-roguelike. Like, it seemed as if that whenever she died, it puts her in a different place.
Yeah, in a different
Or a different world.
a different world, a different
yeah.
But
mystery.
it also looks very, like, story-heavy, so
yeah.
that sounds like a good time. At least from what I saw.
Yeah, I would love it.
It's good to see. It's good to see the studio actually like expanding just a little bit because I'm a fan of Dead Nation. I'm a fan of like Resogun, and seeing them do something like this with a little bit more cinematic feel. Sure.
I'm a shallow baby. You give me a roguelike, haunting mystery sci-fi thing, and then you say, here's some pseudo AAA money, and I'm like, I'm all over that. Next one is Sackboy, A Big Adventure, basically the return of the beloved Sackboy from the Little Big Planet franchise by Sumo Digital. It looks like a straight-up platformer. I'm a platformer fans on my feed have been very excited about this one.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks very Mario 3D World
Yeah,
with its approach to, like, level design and
Without the 3D
four-player
world. I mean, no,
thing.
without. I don't know. Like for me, at least when I was seeing that, it's like it felt like they were just taking out the best part. I like the creative aspect of the Big Planet.
Well, we don't know. There might still be some form of level creation present.
yeah.
But I am curious as to why they're not using the Little Big Planet name for this one.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's weird. Like, they couldn't call it Little Big...
It's a spin-off.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But
Yeah, but then it should be called Sackboy, A Little Big Planet Adventure in the branding. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, parang ganun.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sackboy's Little Big Planet.
Little Big
The
Adventure.
fact that they don't have little Big Planet on it,
Right.
it's just a kind of a question mark on why they want to detach the mascot of the fucking brand out of the brand.
Maybe they have
Anyway.
unknowable
This
plans.
this isn't the first time they've done that, because wasn't there like Sackboy Racing, like those weird little spin-offs?
There was
totally forgot
Little Big
about that.
Planet
Yeah.
Racers. Is that the same thing?
Okay, so
I
it did
think
have
that's
the
what
Little
it
Big
is.
Planet title still.
Yeah, I believe the guys.
So is this the first one without that name on it?
Yeah, I think you guys would know better than I do since I don't keep up with all the PlayStation brands. They're Little Big Planet karting.
Yeah, but at least it's not a knack. It's not a knack, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
but the
It's not knack.
Part of me
I'm
wishes
happy.
that Knack 3 was real.
Yeah, because you
But
need
also part of me doesn't.
you gotta complete the epic trilogy,
Oh,
the saga.
all that particles,
There's
all
3
of those
players
pieces
now.
just falling.
Oh wow, that would be great,
no.
right? 3 players. Make it cover-based shooting.
I can't wait for PS6 to complete the cycle. Like seriously.
Should have Knack with cover-based shooting. Our next game is Destruction All Stars by Lucid Games, and it's an action sports adventure. The trailer was mostly like style rather than actual gameplay. Like it tells you, okay, you drive around these awesome, wicked-looking cars that are super cartoony, and then when your car explodes or gets destroyed, you go on foot and hope to survive while also fighting the other dudes. Sort of like a Demolition Derby meets third-person action game. You know, the particle effects of that game look great. The cartoon style looked cool. My only problem is that we get a sense of the vibe you're supposed to feel from the game, but I don't know if the game can actually deliver on that. And it's not just going to be Rocket League with more explosions. And personally, I'm not a fan of the name Destruction All Stars because that sounds boring as shit. No one's going to remember that name.
Don't you wish it was Twisted Metal instead?
Yeah.
I wish it was Twisted Metal.
I wish it was Twisted Metal too.
No, because it'd be a nice twist in the thing because you can actually get off these unique characters in Twisted Metal. Just get off their ride.
Yeah.
And do like what they're doing here. Like what they're trying to do here. It seems like a good marry to a known franchise. Well, but we'll see what this can do.
We got Kina, Column Bridge of Spirits. That is adventure. An adventure game by Ember Lab. It focuses on a young woman who has the power to commune with these like small, cute little spirits. Walks around, uses those spirits to sort of help her solve puzzles. He also casts magic to fight monsters. All that good third person.
The best way to solve the world, to save the world,
is to get little helpers. Yeah,
yep.
If they're cute, of course. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. This is the game that looks like I was yelling at Carlos about it, saying like, "Look, it's Okami 3." Because of that like flower display at the end, which that was the big here's graphics, right?
Yeah.
Because up until then, it kind of looked like your standard, RPG type of game.
It looks cool. I look forward to it.
No, it looks cool. It has like it's action based and platforming, and her staff transforms to a variety of things. So it seems like there's a lot of options there, at least in gameplay standpoint.
Yeah.
So.
Next game we got is Goodbye Volcano High. This one was a big question mark for me. It is sort of like an emotional game set at the end of the world. Everybody is like Goodbye Volcano High is basically populated with teenagers who also happen to be dinosaurs. So there are all these like Pteranodon, Triceratop teens having like super indie folksy feels, and I can get behind that kind of stuff a lot actually, but it felt like the aesthetic of that game didn't really felt out of place in terms of what Sony was interested in showing during the PlayStation 5 reveal event.
I actually joked to Miggy and Carlos, I think, when I first saw this is PS5 graphics.
Yeah, I know, right? like not everything has to be a graphics showcase, but also like maybe you could reserve this for maybe a small indie reel, like a
exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was put there to appeal to the the indie side of things.
The indie side,
right?
Look, I am on that side, and even I'm like big. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. But I have talked to other people, and they say that they're really excited for Goodbye Volcano High specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm like, but how does it play though?
Yeah. Like, is it a visual novel? Is it like a Life is Strange kind of thing? Because they showed us on one of the other PC gaming events that we had, or game show events we had. They'd show this kind of hipster stuff, which I love. But they would take the time to at least show us some gameplay or some mood or some explanation as to what the game is.
Just a little bit.
Like, what would have helped is maybe if Goodbye Volcano High had one of the executives or developers like show up to talk about the game like they did when they had the other developers like Shuhei Yoshida and the rest show up.
Yeah.
And just towards that, this is coming out in 2021, and it'll be available not only on PS5 but in previous consoles as well. So it's just, I guess it's not really, again, to just put more iteration that we're not really dissing about that it has to be all graphics heavy when it comes to the presentation of a new console. But I guess that's the only one that they really wanted to just like to reiterate by putting it in the lineup, saying like, oh, yep, indie's still
I guess maybe Sony has a lot of confidence in the title, which is nice to hear.
Yeah, that too. That too. Yeah. But so there's gonna be a big sense of confidence there, because I don't get why it should be there, at least for this specific presentation.
Right.
But yeah, it's still a long ways to go. 2021.
Yeah,
A lot of the
Actually, it's
games
a lot,
are stated for next year.
Yeah.
So
That's at this point, that's what I was
still.
actually thinking as well. Or because how 2020 is like canceled, so
pretty
it's like we're
much,
skipping
yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
So,
but if the console is still slated to come out this year, we have yet to see any proper like launch titles to go along with it.
Spider-Man Miles Morales will be coming out in holiday 2020, or so they
Right.
say.
And that had like a slew of more confusion going along with it after the fact.
Yeah.
well, we have like months away from getting like a clear lineup, so
Right.
hopefully they fix that up. And at the same time, we still have that one missing piece, which we might talk later in the
Exactly.
episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, at least with me, yeah, a lot of it was like for next year,
Right.
And then
Yeah, we're almost
yeah.
there. We're more than halfway through, boys. So let's go through this. Oddworld Soulstorm. That was a big question mark for me. Oddworld, as we all know, Abe's Odyssey, that kind of stuff, by Lauren Lanning, the venerable franchise featuring these weird frog-like people that I know a lot of people had affection for, and they were really important in the '90s. But I still don't understand why Lauren Lanning, the developer, has still hitched his wagon to this brand or franchise, because no diss against it to any of the Oddworld fans, but I don't know if it has the same clout as it did in its heyday.
I was thinking the same thing.
I really don't get it.
Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing, like that style of, side-scrolly, puzzly. It's kind of, you rescue like other prisoners, right?
Oh yeah.
So I thought like maybe that type of puzzle game doesn't, or like can't exist on a big scale platform. But then when they showed gameplay, it looks kind of amazing. Like it looks completely different from the previous Oddworld, and it looks like so many things can happen in one particular, like in every single zone.
Yeah.
So I guess, like depending on the price, I guess.
I think you're right. Like those games have always been mechanically interesting, and I didn't think the gameplay was bad. I was just like, I hope people can get excited, for this aesthetic, rather than literally anything else. Like I feel worried that a game that can be great, might feel like it's out of place.
I'm more surprised that that company exists and is, still making Oddworld. So I guess like that's another cool thing, like how Ratchet and Clank is back. Oh hey, Oddworld is still around. That's cool.
Yeah, imagine if Lionhead were still around, still making Fable. Am I right?
But that would be on Xbox.
Yeah. No, well, anyway. The next game we have is Ghostwire Tokyo by Tango
Finally, some
Gameworks, the
actual
studio
gameplay
behind.
footage. Yeah, I'm saying finally we have some gameplay footage of it.
Yeah, and I think it looks rad. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it still looks good.
It feels like it's a VR game for me. Like it would be a
looks
good
like one.
experience
Oh,
if it's gonna be on VR.
yeah. So it's a first-person action adventure, much like what Bethesda is accustomed to delivering us with Wolfenstein, Prey, and the Elder Scrolls stuff. But unlike Evil Within, it's more focused on this sort of like urban, supernatural, sci-fi horror kind of stuff, and it seems like you take control of while also like defeat spirits and stuff. Yeah, that looks interesting. I mean, despite my misgivings about Bethesda as a publisher, I kind of am a sucker for their output too, since Wolfenstein, Prey, and and all the other like stuff that they make is like catnip for me. So.
I just wished, like when I saw Ghostwire last year, like cool, like more horror elements, like being populated in the year it was that, and then it didn't turn out to be that way. I was kind of disappointed because I kind of want a lot more horror that's not populated by Resident Evil and stuff like that. Like, so I was hoping for more at least, and this was like a small light that another actually.
Do I understand you correctly? Is that your complaint is basically that it's another abandoned world as opposed to a populated world?
No, it's not the horror that is like in the same vein as Resident Evil and all those other horror
Right. We
elements,
were
like
expecting a more
the Evil Within.
Yeah, maybe not Evil Within exactly, but definitely a more like horror-based shooter. But as the trailer kept playing, it was playing upbeat music. He was decimating a lot of enemies, and what we thought were unique, like scary, like enemy types turned out to be the generic ones, like the dead high school student and the mysterious man with the umbrella.
Yeah,
looked to be grunt units and parang.
It's very Japan being Japan.
It looks more cyberpunk than horror at that point. Especially with all the glowy lights.
Yeah, and they did the whole digital pixelating effect and stuff. Yeah, we were told it was going to be spooky by former Tango Gameworks art director Ikumi Nakamura, but
exactly.
Yeah, 'cause I'm sure it's gonna be a good game, but I just feel like in terms of like how many games are coming out in the yearly basis, horror is still it's still pretty low in that count. So I just whenever something horror-ish comes in, I'm like, okay, this is something promising.
We can skip ahead if you guys like, and then go back and talk about Resident Evil Village. You guys are more invested in that franchise than I am, so I want to hear what your thoughts are about the 8th mainline installment of Resident Evil.
Chris.
The numbering is dumb.
Yeah, that's a weird numbering.
Resident E8 Edge.
It's Resident Evil Village.
It's
but
very forced.
It just seems like we're so smart. We're so look. It's 8. No, with like I don't know. The logo is actually was weird. But it going back to first person, pretty much following suit to the 7th entry.
It looks alright.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I mean, like
werewolves.
Resident Evil
Thank
7.
God
and,
for no more remakes, at least for now.
Yeah, exactly. And like they're gonna.
It's coming though.
They're gonna use Ethan again as the hero, so at least that's something fresh for
that
fans.
was like the big name drop, right? Like at the very end, Chris and Ethan are shown, thus confirming it was Resident Evil before the trailer ended.
Or else Ubisoft would like you to know the iconic Ethan Winters.
Okay.
Desmond Miles.
The werewolves, am I right?
Yeah, they showed that's an interesting monster type that they're gonna show that now we're gonna have werewolves now instead of
a true biohazard.
Aside from the zombies.
Dude, it doesn't matter. It's still gonna be virus related,
Yeah, they're virus
sure.
wolves. You know what I mean?
But what if this this mechanic is something like
virus or some stupid?
But what if they're gonna play with this mechanic, like for example, the Thing,
The Thing, yeah.
Or like a mutating one?
Or like the classic wolf game or werewolf game where, anybody could be a werewolf. You gotta be on your toes every time.
It could be because of the setting of the village, right?
Yeah.
So I think the setting is alright, but the titling is dumb.
So you close your eyes and when you open, people are dead.
Yeah,
that would
it
be
could
a
be
fun
you.
multiplayer
You could be the
mechanic.
werewolf.
The werewolf was me.
Yeah, it was me all along, Chris. That's why you killed my wife.
Then the wife comes back as a
I'm
werewolf.
sorry,
too.
Ethan. Bang bang.
Our next game. Next game is
Go ahead.
From Super Brothers, the guys behind Sword and Sworcery. Jet the Far Shore, which had a very confusing title because if you look at the typography of that game, I couldn't tell if it was Jet F,
or Jeff.
Jeff.
Yeah, or Jeff.
It was the name was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
it's a
Carlos
lot of
didn't even
names.
see
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
You just saw the
Yeah,
subtitle.
like, what the-
Yeah.
like what?
They should just call their
Very
game
confusing.
Super Brothers,
No, but again, the same reaction to me with Goodbye Volcano High. Like it makes more sense that they just want to push in these kind of it's still a thing. You'll definitely see more of it.
Jet still looks super prettier than Volcano High in the sense that it still looks like the kind of game you enjoy with a nice crisp monitor to appreciate the lavish art.
But isn't this the one where they showed a developer still? Like, is this the one when they showed up a developer, or is it another
I think that might have
game?
been another game because
Maybe I'm wrong.
the Super Brothers are known to be semi reluctant to show their faces.
Oh, like Daft Punk.
Like Daft Punk. I think they might be more akin to the Wachowski sisters in the sense that while we know what they look like, they're not really keen on just speaking for their work all the time in public. But anyway, so it's a space. It seems to be a space adventure of some kind. about people traveling across a planet or something. All really vague, big picture stuff. But I'm interested because I did enjoy Sword and Sorcery, and these guys do interesting things with music, visuals, storytelling, and presenting that all in just sort of abstract manner.
Yeah, hopefully I hear more
Yeah.
of it to get an idea if I want to get on board on it.
The next game is Godfall. I forgot the name of the studios. I think it might be Counterplay Games or something like that, together with Gearbox Publishing. So this is sort of like
Counterplay Games is developed by Counterplay
yeah, this
Games.
is kind of like a melee combat game where it's kind of supernatural, sci-fi themed, and the whole thing they've been leaning on marketing wise is to call you like godlike and unlock godlike armor and godlike stuff. I don't know. It confuses me. I thought
It's pretty much like Gearbox's way of going against stuff like Destiny 2, all those.
it's a looter
Yeah,
shooter.
pretty
for
much.
Sure.
It's a looter smasher. I don't know if there's guns, but it's in that vein with.
Would you say that the players of Godfall would be Battleborn?
Oh no, it looks nothing like that shitty game.
That game
Man.
was fine. That game was fine.
Matthew pouring salt in the wound.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not Crucible. I'll tell you that right now. But Battleborn's not Crucible.
Yes. Okay. That is an
Damn.
excellent statement.
Yeah, that's good.
Solar Ash. Oh, but I think it's
Right.
worth noting that Godfall will actually be coming out this holiday season. So there's your second game that is guaranteed, quote unquote, guaranteed to come out with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, this is literally the first game that says, "Up, I'm coming out in PS5."
Yeah.
In
It's the first
2020.
title.
Yeah. Solar Ash is the next game from Heart Machine Games, I think. Yeah, I think it's Heart Machine. Basically, the creators of Hyperlight Drifter.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Hyperlight Drifter.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Hyperlight Drifter, but it's got more of like this
But in
lavish,
3D.
yeah, lavish 3D kind of action, about a world that sort of like rejects your hero character, and about the void.
It actually looks more like Journey than Hyperlight because we didn't see any proper combat.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's
That's
a game where you said Journey. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, it reminds me of Journey.
Journey with Hyperlight Drifter colors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hitman 3 is the next game on the list. Oh yeah, I love it.
Oh my god.
I love Hitman.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Calm down.
No, well, I still have to learn how to play Hitman. Stuff.
What? What's
It's
wrong?
like 2 iterations. That's what's wrong.
gotta-
Stealth games. Don't you know
I'm
that?
gonna stream some gameplay and show you how it's how it's done, boy.
No, you tell me
It
how
needs
it's
to be
done.
in the most
but
dumb, elaborate way possible.
Yes, it is. Anyway, Hitman 3 will be, according to developer IO Interactive, they're calling it the final game in the World of Assassination, quote unquote, trilogy. So,
who's left? Diba?
yeah, I mean,
who's left?
that sounds like a bunch of grandiose marketing bullshit, but at the same time, after three of these in a row, I think it would be fitting to say, yeah, we're gonna be done with this franchise for a little bit while.
And it's a remake too. They rebooted it actually, and then they we're in the third one now.
Oh yeah.
They killed Sean Bean,
Yeah.
and it's just there's a lot that happens ever since
Yeah.
they left Square's wing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of the Hitman games, so I hope we're gonna get more crazy murder sandboxes. And it's gonna be coming out for the
Yeah.
PS5, so it will look even more beautiful, I guess.
the bald head will be
It won't be-
shinier than ever.
It won't be coming out on launch season, but it will be out on January, so that's not long after.
I think it was one of the rare games where we got a window,
Yeah.
a month window
Yeah.
for next year, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Astro's Playroom is the next one. Small.
Oh, Knack!
What?
Are you?
No, sorry.
What?
Are you okay? Are you okay? Astro's Playroom. According to toomuchgaming's Carlos Hernandez, he said this platformer looks to have the classic style of jumping around, collecting items along the way. Not confirmed if this will be out together with the PS5. This canny writer, Carlos Hernandez.
I
I'm
hope
being sarcastic.
I hope it's.
Are you doing it
I hope
again?
it's free, like the Playroom on PS4. Because the Playroom's primary focus, because it's the those little avatar things from the Playroom, right?
Yeah. Isn't that a PS3 thing? I might be not in that generation.
No, it's a PS4 thing because it showcases all the new crap that the DualShock 4 has.
Well,
right?
I need
That
to
was
use my
the
PlayStation
outlet
4
for
more
that.
often.
So maybe this is hopefully this is gonna be the here's what the DualShock 5 can do game.
Yeah, maybe.
And here's features you will never see
You
again.
always need that kind of game though to really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always done that,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised.
Little Devil Inside.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
This is the game.
Yeah,
I'm
that
excited
game
for.
it looks hilarious. It looks absolutely fun. Little Devil Inside, stealthy exploration, direct, lots of fun, weird combat. I love the presentation of this trailer. It looks hilarious. Then we have NBA 2K21. I think enough said about this. Another NBA, like year in year out.
Sports. They had to get in there somehow.
Yeah, every year an annualized franchise shows up, and all of us in the gaming press just go, okay, another one, moving on. The sweat looks great though, so there's that. Bug Snacks, is from Young Horses, the studio behind Octodad, Deadliest Catch. That is on my social media. It is a big hit on my Twitter universe because people have just lost their minds of the idea behind this game, in which you travel to an island, and every time you eat one of the creatures in the island, your body becomes like that. So you start getting hot dog fingers or strawberry legs or something like that. It looks like this same wild physics or sort of comedy that Octodad was good at.
Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna play, but it's just weird. And then when I heard the creator of Octodad, I'm like, okay, makes sense now. The world's fine.
Yeah. The trailer's kind of absurd,
it's
but
fine.
I'm sure the moment we see just even 2 minutes worth of meaningful gameplay footage, we're gonna be able to understand that game and get it like that.
Right.
Demon Souls.
Yeah.
We're getting a Demon Souls remake. A remake. Blue Point Games.
Apparently, that trailer was just they did the old trailer pretty much,
But with the new graphics.
With the new engine.
With the new, when I was looking at it, I did not realize it was Demon's Souls. I was so out of sync with that game because I haven't played it in a long time, and I was like thinking, is that Elden Ring? I mean, like apparently not. I was completely wrong.
I was disappointed it wasn't
It's
Elden
remake.
Ring, honestly. But oh well.
Yeah.
So Demon Souls is a remake of the original game. Overhauled by Blue Point Games for the PlayStation 5, and I can't wait to assign. We're gonna assign Miguel Samson to review the game for us, of course.
Oh, there you go. Matt will review it.
No.
Matt will assign it to you. It's not my
Matt will
fault. It's
review
Matt. Matt.
No, I want Matt to review it actually.
When you've crossed the bridge and you've cannot take the difficulty of this game that you review,
guys,
after Neo 2 and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, all Souls like ultra hard
Resident
massive
Souls
games.
boy.
Yeah, this is my curse, everybody. Everyone knew me too
time
well.
to shine, buddy.
Like the boiling point was Neo 2, but
The boiling point.
The boiling point. No, I just hope it's okay. Like it's interesting that they actually decided to remake the Demon Souls. I remember Miggy was actually pointing out it might be similar to how they treated the PC version of Dark Souls 2.
yeah, and
Mentioned that. Where it might be the same thing with a little bit of changes in terms of how it's being played. Like
that's when we didn't know that it was being remade like almost from the ground up. Because if Blue Point does to this what they did with Shadow of the Colossus,
oh my god,
or it was almost a full-on like raw-ass remake,
1-to-1.
Yeah. While still being 1-to-1, then
I don't mind either
also,
way. I don't mind either way.
I was gonna say, I hope they do update. This being a remake, I'm expecting it to update the mechanics, like the movement.
It has to.
It has to because it's gonna be
Demon's Souls
very
is
difficult.
Old and
Yeah, dude.
and
There's no diagonal rolling in that game.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I really do
I
hope
love
they
it.
kind of update even the mechanics, the UI, or even the inventory system. I don't know. Hopefully they do. So
something, right? And there was a rumor about this,
Yeah.
already boiling beforehand. But if it's a full-on remake, it needs to have some updated and modern mechanics, because Demon Souls is hard because it's old and stupid.
right.
Yeah. It's stupid. Anyway, moving on.
And I've been really excited for the last 3 games on this list. The last 3 games we got
1,
are
2,
Deathloop,
3. Okay.
Deathloop by Arkane Studios, the guys behind Prey and Dishonored, two of my personal favorites. This was shown at E3 last year. You play an assassin or who's being hunted by everybody on the island. There's a bounty on your head, and everybody has come to collect. And so your goal is to kill 8 bad guys before the clock resets, and you have to live through it all over again. Yes, that's interesting. And to make the pressure even more intense, there is another assassin who is trying to hunt you down. So it's assassin versus 8 other dudes, and yeah, it's got stealth, it's got superpowers, it's got all of that meaty Arkane Studio stuff, just like in Prey and Dishonored. I think what's interesting for some people might be interesting for some people is that they sort of have this multiplayer aspect wherein you can opt in to let other players join your game and play the
okay.
Cool. The antagonist. My words are failing me.
The bad guy.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, you're opposing.
I'm so proud of you for
player opponent, and yeah, that'll be interesting. Obviously, I am not going to opt into this feature with any of my friends on the PC gaming space because they are all literally better shots than me, and they can go fuck off.
That's the best part, though.
Yeah,
I would gladly
do
play
that.
with you with it. Play, yeah.
Next game is Pragmata. This is mostly, again, a mood story trailer. We didn't really get gameplay. It's a post-apocalyptic game where, the world is destroyed and we see a city and there's an astronaut and he finds himself in the moon or something they find themselves in the moon because we don't know the gender of the astronaut. And they escort this young girl who also has powers. The schedule for this game is not until 2022, guys. 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna find out why the child can go to space without any kind of suit.
She's probably a robot.
More than a year from now.
Yeah,
or not real,
or she's made of moon dust. You never know.
Or she's Hideo Kojima. We never know.
Yeah, or she's Jeff Keighley.
Please no.
And the last game on our list is Horizon Forbidden West. At last, a sequel to 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn. Finally, I shown off during the last moments of the PS5 reveal, with Aloy talking about a plague that is causing local wildlife to die, so she must find out. She must find out what is causing the plague. We saw a lot of underwater action. I think that's going to be a part of the game. I guess doubling the amount of explorable area at the very least. It really
imagine how our bow will work in that fucking underwater place.
Well, the first game had swimming mechanics, but it was in maybe just not 2 areas or something like that.
Yeah,
there was no combat in it either.
But not underwater though. I don't think there was an underwater.
It was just there was underwater, but you could just go under this thing to open the next door.
Like a fast or short segment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this one looks to have combat.
I'm just happy that Lieutenant Philip Broyles is going to be back as the antagonist for this one. So
yeah, because that was a loose end from the last game.
Yeah, baby.
Who's that? I'm
Silence.
Focus.
Silence.
No, it was that though. It ended that way, but I also didn't play the DLC. I don't know how much more the DLC added on to the story.
Don't spoil a 3-year-old game for me.
It's fine. The DLC has nothing to do with Silence.
I assume you finished it because you actually said that you were excited about this. Okay.
Yeah. No, I have. Well, first, I'm excited for Raffi Lanus of GG Network to return my copy of Horizon Zero Dawn to me.
No.
You gave a copy of Horizon.
Now Raffi has an assignment
without even finishing.
Raffi has homework now. We will tell him to stream it and finish it so that he can return it to you.
Yan tuloy, I tagged him na.
Tagging Raffi Lanus.
Give it back.
Mm-hmm. Give it back.
And I
don't have your copy.
Yeah, it's funny because at one point before the PlayStation 5 reveal, I think it was Jim Ryan or someone else, or was it Herman Hulst, who said we're going to announce today that Horizon Zero Dawn is now a franchise.
Sure.
And I'm like,
I mean,
you don't need
we
to announce
kind of
that.
expected it though. You don't need to announce it.
Yeah, you don't need to announce it. Let's see. It did well critically. It did well commercially.
Yeah.
We know, my dude.
It's so easy.
But at least it's a real thing, and I'm happy that that game is getting a sequel.
It looks nice.
And that is it for our roundup of PlayStation 5 games revealed. We kind of came in hot, but I think we slowed down a little bit, and we are now at the 45-minute mark of the show, which means that Carlos will have to summarize the hardware and talk about some games he's playing in under 15 minutes. Go, Carlos, take it away.
Wait, we set... I don't like how we set things. We haven't even reset it.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the design?
Yeah. Get on me. No, what do you guys think about the PS5 design? I don't know. Like, it's all of us.
Mean,
like, what do you guys think about it?
It's big.
Yeah.
That's
that's gonna be a problem.
That's the thing that I noticed. It's as big as a tower PC.
Because I think we've already tackled the specs. There's no point of actually tackling the specs before. Everybody knows the specs even before we knew what the controller looked like. Everybody talked about the specs. Like Garth told us all of what we need to know about.
From Wayne's World.
Yeah, he told us everything already. It's just more of the here's how the box looks like. But the one thing I kind of noticed is the fact it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
PS3 huge.
Yeah, I mean, memes aside, and let us, memes aside, I think that console is way too huge. But again, as someone who is really dedicated to gaming anyway, it's a kind of a moot point. Like, if you're really all in on the video game and life, you're all like, well, I was going to make that space anyway. It'd just be nice if it wasn't, so big. And I worry for those people who do care about those space concerns or live in smaller fucking apartments.
And let's just like when they said it was like not noisy. Well, let's hope it's not noisy.
That's a good thing if it's not.
Yeah, like I just it just like when I saw it, aside from it being like it has a collar and everything, all the memes and everything, but the PS3, it just reminded me of the PS3 rather. It just when I saw it, it just reminded me how heavy it was when I the time when I borrowed my cousin's PS3 and it felt like I was carrying weights back home. And
the mini fridge door that is the launch PS3.
Yeah.
Like it might not even look nice up close. You never know. Like I just got surprised when I think IGN showed a comparison between the PS3, PS4, PS5.
It's taller than
Xbox
the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I think
it's taller, and the box, and the new box is a bigger box. It's a big box, and this is a bigger box.
I mean, okay, best case scenario, since it's reasonably assumed that the console is as big as it is to allow for better heat dissipation and
that looks like it.
Pack all the hot horsepower. The ideal scenario is that it's actually lighter than it looks, and that would be nice to know.
Is it?
No, that was my
that
was my worry because the white collar fins around it look like heat dispersal space and all that. So that made me worry about this not being able to lie down because that is most people's preferred way because that's a space saver and you can't risk it.
I feel safer.
Right?
I really, I feel safer when it. Yeah.
And luckily, Sony did release a photo of it on its side.
Yeah.
So, or hopefully that is a sign that you can lie it down.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. I think honestly, like, I'm a little worried that this form factor was only settled on the last minute. I mean, recently, Matt McLaurin of I forgot which department he is at Sony PlayStation. He said something like, this console looks the way it does because we are like the power to heat ratio is amazing. He says, like, he's sort of praising the console by saying it's got a good power to heat ratio, and that's why we needed the console to be as big as it is, in order to get that amount of power, which sounded like a roundabout way of saying like, we could have made it smaller, but we don't know how to.
It's the same story. I'm sure there's the same conversation when the PS3 was shown because everybody was saying it was pretty big compared to the PS2.
Yeah,
like it just makes me show that we've seen the graphics and obviously it's a big jump from the 4 in terms of what it's capable of. So it's just like expect the PS5 Slim or like how the 6 would look like. If there was going to be a 6 in the future, I guess they just couldn't That's just how simple it is. They just couldn't fit all that hardware in a more compact position, and that's apparently also shown in the Series X.
Yeah,
because that's a box. That's a freaking black box.
Yeah, I mean, okay, like
So, that I can sit on. I think.
I think there's a rumor, again, emphasis on rumor, that the PS5's original design was actually going to be something similar to what the Series X was, which is a vertical black box.
A box.
Yeah. A more even-sided rectangular shape.
A monolith.
Until the Series X was actually revealed, upon which every executive above the development level was like, okay, we're losing our shit now because there's no way we're going to release a console that will make us look like we copied Microsoft. Even though they did not, that is the impression that people will have. And so that this is basically their, well, I wouldn't call it Plan B design, but a design that they switched to at the last minute because of the Series X. You know, now, granted, I don't...
It makes sense. It makes sense. It's the first time, like, the PS was, like, I think, PS1 was gray, PS2 was black, PS3 is black, PS4 is black, and all of a sudden 5 is, like, white.
Yeah.
I mean, the original design. So it's, like, could be, but it's definitely a big change. And yeah, we'll see. I'm not really much of a fan of the designs. Even when I saw the design, I looked back to my PS4. The original PS4 design was actually pretty good. I really liked it. I actually appreciate the previous one better.
My partner complains about how all these devices are just black boxes, and I get that, but I'm not sure if switching to and I definitely want consoles to look more diverse, look more interesting than just black boxes. But I don't know if switching to a box that looks like it was mugged on the way to the Apple Store or something like that, is really the look you wanted to go for.
I'm actually surprised it took this long for the gaming consoles to adapt that futuristic space age thing that everyone thought the future would look like back in the 90s.
Which is now antiquated. Now it looks like it belongs on the deck of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies, which is, for all y'alls out there, it's an 11-year-old movie.
Right. Or, at the very least, something from the freaking Jetsons or whatever. In the far future of 2002.
Yeah.
But, definitely we're gonna get a second SKU that I guess will be based also on, aside from form factor and function, will most likely reflect people's reaction to the new look.
Yeah.
So it might very well just become a black box again. And at the very least, we're gonna get different colors of this for sure.
Yeah, I mean that is the bread and butter of
right. That's the easy way.
They gotta sell them collector's editions.
It's gonna come out in all black, and everyone will be happy again.
It's also a way of incentivizing. I mean, I don't want to get too much into this, but it's not just selling collector's editions. It's these bundled versions of PlayStations that have special form factors and designs is a way of incentivizing people who are already on the fence anyway, and they're just it creates. It creates new buzz.
I see the appeal of the collector's edition, but my point is it's not going to be just all new white.
Yeah.
Just look at that's really what it is.
Period. To the point where people are already making mock-ups of what future special editions of the PlayStation 5 will look like.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Let's go, Boss Logic. It's doing all the work. I think that is it, because like what Matt said, I think we're actually almost close to the 1 hour mark, and I'm just going to have to talk about other games next time.
What? We're not going to talk about Star Wars : Squadrons?
What gameplay do we discuss?
It's just a movie.
What? Yeah, what do we discuss? I don't know.
There's a war, and there are stars, and squadrons are involved.
But can I play as a Jedi?
But the gameplay for that is going to be this Thursday.
I think on Thursday.
Yeah,
it's on Thursday.
It's going to be Thursday in EA Play.
And
I think we're going to be... So we're going to move that to next episodes, because we will see gameplay, we'll see more of it, so that's actually a more ideal way. And at the same time,
according to hotshot toomuchgaming.net writer Matthew Arcilia, it won't be a full price.
Go ahead, sorry.
It won't be a full priced game. It'll cost around $40 rather than $60, and you can verify that if you go to your stores on the Steams and the PlayStations and what have you. We'll be learning more about the game as Miguel and Miguel said. The EA Play Live event that's happening on June 18. So there you go.
Yeah, so it's gonna be perfect for next episode. At the same time, because I was planning to talk about The Last of Us Part 2, because I reviewed it and played it and finished it and survived, and yeah, next week. I mean, it's coming out on Friday, so by next week, some people will have some kind of like reservations or like thoughts about it when I talk about it as well.
I'd say
next week. So
I'd say
even
an
Matt as well,
episode or two
so.
from now, we'll do a spoiler cast, right?
Yeah, I guess we'll play it by ear and how slow people are.
Yeah.
Like there's like that. I don't know because it's a pretty long game. It's 22 plus hours.
Right.
And I was being conservative, so.
And due to the ongoing pandemic, still people are having troubles getting their copies on the game.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Even my brother, who lives in fucking New York, he's getting his copy on the 23rd. I'm like, huh?
Same.
Yeah, I mean, like as much as like there's a digital version, just you have to respect the fact that they just like the physical, even though pandemic's a thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is it for episode number 205. Okay, let's read the website. But I think that's it. Yeah, thanks for the for listening in, pressing the play button because we have a podcast every week at the very least.
Yeah. Let's
do check us out.
No. Just I just want to say, like, before we go into the socials, don't forget to bother us about the PlayStation 5 reveal event. Let us know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Email us, tweet at us, comment on this episode. Tell us everything you feel and think about the PlayStation 5 lineup of games.
Yeah, and then all the podcast episodes you can actually find on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other platforms that you usually get your podcasts. It will most likely be there. And yeah, for all our content and reviews, news, everything that we've been doing for the longest time, do check them out at www.toomuchgaming.net. And I think we mentioned the email. We even mentioned where we can shout at you.
Oh yeah, email
Matthew.
Email us at contact@toomuchgaming.net if you've got some straight up things that you want to say directly to us. And me, I'm on Twitter,
okay.
So if you've got video game opinions to yell at me about, it's at Arcelia Matthew on Twitter.
Yeah, I have Twitter too, but I forgot what it is. But I'll try to figure that
Too
out
much gaming
in the future. No, mine. I actually have one.
Sure,
I just don't know what
Carlos.
it is. Anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You found it?
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
You are what you eat.
A squash.